Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Coach's Corner tonight. We are brought to you in part by WBCO, WQEL, Crawford County Now, and the Ohio Report. And tonight we have the boys and girls basketball teams from Colonel Crawford. The girls will be going first. And so tonight with us we got Coach Zac Bauer. We have Lynae, McKibben, and Allison Weithman, two of the senior players on the team that right now, Coach, you're tied for first place in the N10. But first, a little, background on you. It's kind of interesting that, the two head coaches at Colonel Crawford tonight, similar background with how you ended up in coaching. You come from a very much a coaching background with your family. And I guess you also guys go to the same barber. But why don't you tell you a little bit about your coaching background and how you ended up in coaching?
Well, I started off as a JV coach or varsity assistant coach at Winford right out of college, 2009, and I was fortunate enough to work for Tim Ayersman for 6 years, both as a varsity assistant and a boys JV coach there at Winford. I was lucky enough to play for Tim at Winford my senior year and for Coach Sheldon there at Winford before he stepped down. And from there, an opportunity kind of brought itself to me to teach and work with David at Colonel Crawford as the freshman coach. And I spent 9 years on the freshman staff, doing a little bit of freshman and even a year of junior high here and there when we might not have enough for freshman teams. And then 2 springs ago the girls position opened, and I kind of had a realization myself where how long is the boys staff, at least longevity-wise for me, going to be an option. I have 2 daughters, one's 7 and one's 2, and as a freshman coach, we play opposite the girls varsity a lot, and I would kind of pass these girls as sophomores. We would go one place and they would be home, and vice versa. And I thought, someday when my own daughter's playing, am I going to want to be coaching them, kids I know but they're not my own, or am I going to want to be at least watching my own kid? And am I ready to give up coaching when she's 16, 10 years from now? And deep down, the answer to that was no. And when the position did open itself up, I decided to put myself out there and see what I was able to offer. And it's turned out to be a really positive thing for me personally, professionally. The girls have been super easy to get along with. And it's when you take a chance on yourself and you're in the right spot, right away. And I knew from the first moment we all kind of were together that was what I was supposed to be doing. So it's been nice.
So over the years, much advice from relatives?
Well, my grandfather was Jim Bauer,
right,
and the first boys basketball coach to coach at Winford. And I tell this story a lot. My first game as a JV coach, so I'd probably been a varsity assistant for 2-3 years. And first game as a JV coach, he sits down next to me and he says, Zach, if things break down, just run the shuffle. And my grandpa was famous for the shuffle offense at Winford. And I said, Grandpa, I tried for you to teach the kids to shuffle, and I said they can't learn it. I said the pattern, they just don't understand. And he kind of shook his head, and he said he just kind of walked away. And a few weeks later we played a team that did run the shuffle, and he said if they beat you, you have to put it in. So fortunately for me, we didn't have to do that, but he was always very adamant about that, and just other things about rotation, getting kids in and out of games, or things to work on in the summertime with my teams, or and some of that was out of my control as an assistant, but it resonates now that I do have my own team. Sure. How to connect with kids, or just the importance of being there in moments when they need you the most. Grandpa was, always had a practice on Thanksgiving Day, and then they had Thanksgiving dinner at his house with the whole team. And things like that he shared with me are more meaningful than the basketball advice that he gave. And the last story I'll tell about Grandpa is, right before he passed, we were at his house, and my Uncle Jim managed to get the Winford game versus St. Pete's on film, on DVD. So we watched it. And it's a lot different than watching film now. You get snippets of it, it's kind of washed out, and you don't maybe get the entirety of the game. But, what we were able to watch, things that stood out to me was none of the coaches stood up. They all sat down the whole time. They all wore suits and ties. And, with about 2 minutes to play, somebody on Winford's team makes they make a steal, and then they get a basket. It was the same kid. And my grandpa was kind of in and out of it, and he, before it happened, told us what was going to happen.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's one of the best memories that I had of him at the end of his life.
How
was,
cool.
was that happening? So it was
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
All right, Lynae, now you got to follow that question, so good luck. No. So being one of the seniors, what's it like? I mean, you've gotten to be with Coach Bauer now for 2 years, and what's it like playing for Coach Bauer?
It's awesome. I love every part of it. It goes beyond just basketball. It goes into life, and the skills you're learning in high school basketball you can transfer to other areas of your life as well. And it's just awesome knowing that I have such a great support system for life, and it's just been awesome. So.
Outstanding. So you followed very well. Now the pressure's on, Lynae. No pressure at all.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just relax. So again, what's it been like for you? Being a senior, one of the leaders. He pointed out a lot of the stuff that for your team. You guys got to lead and get them there. So what's it like?
It's honestly really fun. I enjoy it, and I enjoy Bauer. Being a coach. Glad he came out for the job. It's really been a blast. In and outside of practice.
Well, a quick question, and then we'll go to one of the games. But, now we get to the downside. So you lost a game the other night that you probably thought, and most people thought, you were going to win. What's your role then of helping everyone recover because you're still tied for the league lead. Everything's still in your own hands probably. If that was one of your goals this year was to win a league championship, it's still there. So how do you guys approach the rest of the team and trying to – so go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is one of our goals that we set for ourselves. And, there's setbacks, setbacks in life. And it's just how do you come together as a team to bounce back from it and learn from it and use it as a setup for the future. And I think our role is just to help everybody stay connected and remember why we're playing, and we're playing for each other and just encouraging others.
Great. Allison, so how are you – how's the team doing? So you had practice today. Was it pretty much back to normal and get over it, let's move on?
Well, we get along pretty well as a team inside and out, so it's not really a problem at practice. I mean, we push each other to get better.
Okay. All right, great. Well, time for our first game. So this is called Boomers versus Zoomers. So we have some questions for you guys from when Coach Bauer, as we said earlier, graduated from high school. So 2004. So let's get to these questions. And I'll give you some hints too from time to time because,
That's good.
it was a little while ago. But, all right. This woman was arrested for insider trading. Now but here's the good part of the question, should be up here. Now she just hangs out with Snoop Dogg. Do you know what that lady's name might be? She's like an 80-year-old lady that hangs out with Snoop.
I have no idea.
Okay. Her name is Martha Stewart. So she was
Yeah,
into all this.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, she was into all this remodeling stuff. Well, she's like 80 years old, and she was also in the swimsuit edition this year of Sports Illustrated. I didn't see it. I just heard she was in it. Second question. Oh, gosh. This 106-year-old car company, boy, these are hard questions, called it quits in 2004. So it was a company that stopped making their cars in 2004. They do get easier.
I have no idea.
Coach Bauer, do you know?
Is it Volkswagen?
No.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Oldsmobiles.
Yeah,
Have you,
never heard
yeah,
of that
I
ever.
haven't seen too many around either. But this is a little bit easier because this is obviously still in existence today. This website launched from a Harvard dorm room, and now you avoid it. Your parents and your aunt's Farmville requests. So, and it's one of the things that this will be on tonight.
Yeah.
Facebook?
There you go. Yeah.
Yay!
All right, here we go. We're on the board. All right, and this is just a guess. So, within 25 cents, how much did a gallon of gas cost in 2004? And it wasn't that much. It wasn't very long ago when it was down to this.
$1.60.
Bingo, man. You're on top of it. 14 cents. You're only 14 cents off.
Hey.
Oh, I thought you were right.
$1.74.
174.
Yes. And, luckily it wasn't asked of me because it would have been a quarter.
Oh.
So if you would have said nothing, gas was free, you would have got it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. Who wrote this? Oh, well, I guess it's not an English teacher. They ain't doing so hot this season. But in 1994, they won the NBA title. And they're like the worst team in the league this year.
In
The
2004,
Pistons.
they won the NBA title.
Yeah, but in
Detroit
2004, they won the title.
Is it Detroit?
Yes, there you go, the Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. And then in 2004, well, you might be. You watch Jeopardy at all? You know what? Oh, then maybe you won't get it. This Jeopardy contestant in 2004 won 74 days in a row. So he became a millionaire from Jeopardy. And now he actually hosts the show.
I do know this one.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ken Jennings.
Absolutely. Ken Jennings
Yeah.
is his name. Yes, there we go. All right. Oh, one of my favorites. The top film of the year featured an angry ogre, his donkey buddy, and a lot of singing.
You know this one.
I know, I watched it. I just forget the name of it.
And it's
Shrek.
1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, Shrek.
There you go, Shrek. Well, it's actually Shrek 2, but yes,
Oh.
Shrek. Very good. Okay. Oh gosh. This is after a scathing documentary came out about him, McDonald's phased out this option of ordering your food. It really disappointed me at the time. So if you wanted it, when you go to those things and you get like a number 3, if you want it really big, what do you ask
Get
for?
small, medium, large.
Or
what's this?
even larger than large.
I have no idea.
Supersize.
You supersize.
Yeah.
You used to
I
be
would
able to
never
do
guess
that?
Oh yeah, and there'd be like
Yeah.
5,000. There'd be like 5,000 calories
Yeah.
in it. So
Just walk out with a drink.
so they did this documentary that showed like people were dying from eating too many supersized meals and stuff. So yeah, everyone was wearing little yellow bands with "Live Strong" inscribed on them. For this cause, and who started it? And then he took some big heat after that.
Sure did.
But do you have any idea? He was an Olympic bicyclist. He rode, like, and won all kinds of gold medals riding a bike.
No.
And now he's on a lot of documentary shows where,
Yeah.
he used to be a celebrity.
Lance Armstrong.
Oh, yeah. Lance Armstrong. Yeah, so after showing all these things about Live Strong and doing all these things, he got busted for using steroids, helping him win races on his bike. So it didn't really work out well for him. All right. Oh, gosh. With the Super Bowl coming up, halftime is huge. So you might know what
I
is
know where this is
coming.
going.
Justin Timberlake, you know who he is?
Yeah.
All right. Janet Jackson helped coin this phrase after the Super Bowl story that got more attention than the game. So there was something that happened at halftime when they were singing together, and now it's called, and you guys may use it on occasion, like if something would happen to something you're wearing and it rips or something.
You have to censor it out.
Yeah, so do you know what it's called when your stuff rip and clothes don't work the way
I
they're
don't know what
going to?
it's called.
Oh.
No.
I know what happened, but I don't know what phrase you're looking
They-
for.
Yeah, I know. I know what
A
happened. I just don't
wardrobe
know.
malfunction.
Okay. There we go.
So yes, she ended up with part of her breast hanging out at the Super
We had a
Bowl.
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, so it was a wardrobe malfunction. All right, so let's get back. Pretty good, Those guys are sitting back there just
They're laughing at
wondering
us.
which Coach Sheldon questions will get asked. So get on your phones and get to 1994 and see what happened around the world. And we probably still aren't asking those questions. All right. Back to some basketball. So, Coach, like I just talked to them. Everything's ahead of you guys. And of course you're focusing on the next game. and getting ready for that and bringing them back. So what's your philosophy on after? I mean, you guys have had 2 tough losses in the league where, and then the other, and I think is Wintford who you're playing next?
Yeah.
So after the bizarro start there, as I was listening to it in the radio station that night, what are you doing to make sure, they're confident, they're ready to go?
For us, the process doesn't really have to repeat. Win or lose, unless it's the last game of the year, you still wake up the next day and do the work. And that's something that I have to credit these 2 captains and our other captains for, is that our teams always walked into practice ready to do the work. And whatever that might be, whether that be new things that we're introducing or refinement of the old, they show up every day to do the work. And that's what you have to do in life and in basketball to be successful and to get where you want to be, is you have to consistently put in that work, and you have to put it in at a high level. And I feel like we do that day in and day out.
Well, certainly Wintford has become, probably 15 years ago, I'm not sure, or 20 years ago, how big of a rival it was. But that's all changed, certainly, in whatever sport it is that you guys are playing. And so obviously it didn't, you got off to that horrific start and then just, fought. And so now this time, is it, I'm looking at you and it's like, it's revenge. Whether you want to say it's revenge or not, we want to get them.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Yeah,
Talk first.
I kind of took that game personal, and
Uh-huh.
I've been ready for that game ever since. I mean, we practiced for this day to come.
Sort of like Ohio State, Michigan, where maybe you do a couple things, coach, you just don't let them know. But it's to make sure they're ready for Wintford.
That's not necessarily the case.
Uh-huh.
We're one day at a time and prepare for what's in front of us, and that's what we can deal with. And obviously this means something because it is a rivalry game and for the league implications, whatnot. But, I heard, Mike Krzyzewski say one time, you can't play with revenge in your heart because that clouds your decision-making, your judgment that you want to have during the game. So it's not necessarily for us about revenge. It's about, putting our best foot forward, and I feel like that's something that we didn't do the first time around. Credit to Wintford. They played a really nice game, and they played extremely well. But at the same time, I feel like we left that feeling like we maybe left something on the floor. And,
Sure.
And we don't want to take that for granted anymore with only having a few opportunities to play left together. So.
Which brings up, you have 2 games left?
Yeah.
And being a senior, is that kind of starting to hit you too, as in the regular season, Lynae, that 2 regular season games left?
Yeah, I think it is a little bit. You just don't realize how fast it goes. Every senior says that, but you really don't until you're coming towards the end. But I am just really grateful for the time we've had together, and just to every practice that we have left, just give 100% like we have, and just continue to just give it your all and just not leave anything out.
Well, and to stick with you guys, because and I'm going to ask the boys the same question, is since I've been working for the radio, I coached for a very long time, and then against Colonel Crawford and in the NCC and in the day and stuff. But do you guys understand how lucky you are to be at this school, in this program, and, with all the support you get, I mean, not only from the community, but, the staff and the things, and you get to be so well coached, and, does it really, Allison, do you really understand that?
I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, I see the support.
I mean, how many, you don't go, when you guys are on the road, I can't believe there's a lot of games where there's many people in the gym as there are for all your games at Crawford. And just, I talk about it a lot, is just, the culture that's been created by all the coaches, but the administration and everybody else in the sport you get. It's got to be fun to be an Eagle.
Sure is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And, and the biggest thing is, gosh, I wish you great success, in the rest of it and things, and hopefully get a win. Is it Thursday? Saturday you play them. Okay, and then, get that and get the other one, and, then I guess wait and see how it plays out with the other teams. But, again, it's no worse than a league championship, which, is a great start, and then get into the tournament. But, I got to do one of your games on the radio. The only one I did this year was you guys, and it was a really enjoyable to watch you play. So good luck. And couple final things with Coach. Coach, we talked a little bit before, about the draw now, and it's a little different. You know, it was experimental last year to seed, and now it went through the whole state, I guess, with Max Prep seed and everything. Is, you know, what are your thoughts on it?
To be honest, I kind of liked, as a new coach last year especially, I liked the seating because, you know, I'd kind of been behind the scenes before as an assistant where, you know, you'd have to worry about who's going to vote for you and this or that. And, you know, sometimes that got kind of polarizing because, you know, league teams would stick together or people that knew each other would stick together. And I didn't know anybody, you know, outside of a few last year. And I thought if we go to a vote off, like, we're not going to get any votes because I don't know anybody. So I liked that aspect of it. It kind of eliminated the gray from it. On the other end of that, you know, it would be nice to see like a reward for playing a bigger school with a quality record and give you some credit for playing quality opponents. You know, your strength of schedule in your non-league, if you're testing yourself, that needs to be kind of taken into consideration too. So,
Well, we got one more game. And this one is called Same Page. So to see if you guys are on the same page with Coach.
Oh, man.
So we're going to ask Coach a question. You guys can use the whiteboards there to write down the answer. And we'll see if Coach agrees with you. This is a good one. So Coach Bauer has been abducted by aliens. Who on the team would believe him? If he said he missed practice because he was abducted by an alien, is there someone on the team you would say might look at you guys and go, really? You think he was?
Was he?
I was going to say Gabby.
Oh, I was good one, Gabby.
Gabby.
We gotta wait for Coach to give his answer.
Yeah, don't shoot until he gives his answer.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay, no big deal.
Redo it.
Yeah, you feel the challenge.
All right. So this Sunday, Coach turns on the Super Bowl. Does he want to watch the game, the halftime show, or the commercials? What's most important to him? The game, the halftime show, or the commercials? Coach?
I love the Super Bowl. Like, I love it. So all of it really, but I would say the game most importantly.
All right, on top of that one. Now this is really
commercials first thing I saw.
I did.
this is an interesting one. So Coach and the wife are going out. They got it's date night, and they're going to a club.
Oh God.
So Coach needs some new dance moves. Who's going to teach him? Who on your team is going to teach him some new dance moves? Coach?
Lexi DeRay.
I said me. I got some good dance moves. I can teach you sometime.
There we go. All right. Now we get to learn something new about Coach.
Oh, God.
Could Coach bake a cake from scratch? Yes or no? Coach, we much of a baker?
From scratch, if I had a recipe, maybe, but I'll go with yeah.
Oh.
Oh, come on.
Hey, I bet he
It
could
would be
follow
a
the
real
recipe.
stretch. Like, would it be edible? No, would it look like a cake? Yeah.
Last question. Ooh, good one. If he could be MJ or LeBron, who'd he choose?
Choose wisely here.
Everybody has a strong opinion about this question.
As they should.
I think I know, but we'll see.
It's Michael Jordan, guys. Come on. Thank you.
That's obvious.
Yeah,
Come on
thank
now.
All right. Well, hey, good night on that. You know Coach pretty
Well,
good.
it's fun.
We-
Come on
we-
now.
Yeah. Gosh, you know Coach really well. You must share a few things with him every night.
I like to tell stories, and they
There we
both
go.
know that. So.
Well, yeah, I understand that. I think there's a lot of guys do that.
Yeah,
Well, hey, good luck, against Winford this weekend, and get back in the winning column and you know, just continue to keep winning and have fun doing it, Coach. And guys, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a 5-minute break and take some pictures and then get the Eagles boys teams up here.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
right, we're back on Coach's Corner. Before we get started with the Colonel Crawford Eagle boys basketball, Coach and players, like to thank Pizza Hut of Bucyrus and Galion for feeding us tonight. And as always, it was great. So we're here with Coach David Sheldon and with Trevor Vogt and Ryan McMichael, two of the senior players and captains, right, Coach?
Yep.
Two captains at Colonel Crawford. And, Coach, and I know you've been doing this for a long time, and, most people know the story, of how you ended up in coaching and everything else. But share a little bit about, I didn't get to, you're one of the few guys I can't say I coached against them. You graduated before I showed up at Fredericktown, but.
I'm old, Coach Bauer.
Trust me.
So, just like Coach Bauer, we went through the Winford program. We were very fortunate. Those were the glory days back in Winford boys basketball. So went through there, and then 4 years I played at Bluffton University, and then got out of Bluffton. I was in the MBA for a few years on the business side, and then got back. I said, I want to be around kids. My dad never worked a day in his life because he was with kids every day, enjoyed every minute. And, I got out of the MBA and came back, and I was fortunate to get hired at Bucyrus with Todd Martin. So I was at Bucyrus for 4 years, and I was an assistant under Todd when Todd was the head coach, and we won a league championship at Bucyrus. It was great times and great kids there. And then after my 4th year, I had the opportunity. Mr. Ted Bruner was superintendent at Colonel Crawford and approached me about the head basketball job. And ever since, for the past 18 years, I'm the old guy in Mansfield area now with 18 years, TB, with all the coaching turnover. I've been at Colonel Crawford, and I've been extremely blessed. It's unbelievable administration, Board of Education, and ultimately the most important players that have came through our program.
Sure.
So a lot of great memories. I was telling these guys, we had senior night a couple weeks ago, and they're the 72nd senior to come through our program. Wow. In 18 years. We've had 72 seniors come through, and for a senior to make it 4 years, that shows a lot, because it's a lot of guts, effort, and we have a lot of big expectations at Colonel Crawford with our program.
One really quick question, though, and then I got to make a comment. So how many people said you were nuts when you left the NBA to go into teaching?
My father was number one. He said, why are you leaving that kind of money to come do teaching? I said, Dad, it's not all about money. And, I prayed about it.
Sure.
I'm a man of the good Lord, and it was the right thing. And it's the best thing I ever did. I love being with kids every day.
Well, the biggest thing that killed me is, I always impressed the people that I went to Orlando with, during Easter break when you would get us such good tickets for the Magic game. And
yeah, I lost a lot of friends because I didn't have tickets to the Cavs, to Orlando, all these places. And
you're killing me.
I was on team planes going to Chicago, sitting next to Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, but I don't miss it one bit, Tim.
Absolutely. Well, guys, again, it's coming down to the home stretch, but you're in first place in the league. Made a nice run. I mean, there were people looking at you for dead for at least a league championship a couple weeks ago, and all of a sudden you're back in first place. But before we talk about a couple things with that, first, Trevor, watching you in football, Ryan, watch you guys in football, do you also, obviously, I guess you're a track guy.
Yeah.
And Ryan, then do you play spring sport as well?
Yeah, I run track as well.
Okay. So, again, kind of piggybacking on what I asked the girls, what's it like just being an athlete at Colonel Crawford? I mean, do you understand how lucky you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a lot of hard work. We have summer liftings 4 to 5 days a week. All our coaches push us. Like after summer lifting, we lift for football and track, I guess, and then we have shooting from 9 to 10 every day after that, and it's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm so glad that we have come up in a place where we're expected to win. We've been formed into winners since a very young age, and I feel very blessed that we've been able to have that kind of atmosphere with the community behind us, the coaches we have, and the families that we have as well.
Sure. I mean, yeah, and then, like I say, you guys go on the road, and I mean, often it seems, there's more Crawford people in the stands, whether it's football, whatever sport it is, but especially football and basketball where you notice it, and, that's got to be just an incredible thing, isn't it, that they're all there, right?
We went to West Virginia for football this year and had all kinds of people there driving 4 hours to watch us. And the same thing with basketball as well.
That's
everywhere we go, there's
Absolutely.
people behind us.
It's just crazy because we'll show up an hour early for warm-ups every home game, and half of our stands are already full while we're warming up an hour before the games.
And that just,
And
yeah.
of course, the front row crew's first
Oh,
one
yeah,
there saying hi
exactly.
to us.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well,
awesome.
I don't want to bring it up because it wasn't a very good night. But, yeah, the Fredericktown people were very offended at the front row guys. Got there before them and were sitting in their seats.
This is a true story about the front row crew. they'll call me in May, and Coach Bauer as well. Hey, can we get your summer schedule? And they show up to summer stuff in June to watch these guys, and it's a special group. And it's been sad for me because some of them 18 years ago have passed away.
Sure.
So but it's people that love the black and gold.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of the front row guys. So,
Neither officials either.
No.
They try to tell the officials what to do in the front row as well.
Yeah, I think they tell everybody what to
Yeah.
do in the front row, but they're great. Yeah, what a great thing to have. Coach, you like I said, you're back in the race. You're tied for first. Obviously, a big one coming up. With Seneca East, and how did is it with their help? How do you bring them back down after a huge win with Cary? Bringing them back to earth and saying, hey, we got to go right back to work now.
Well, actually, we're one game up on everybody.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
Oh,
Cary
sorry.
and Seneca East
Yeah.
are one behind.
That's right.
And, this journey started last June. We lost everybody from that
Right.
regional team. Trevor was the one starter back, and he averaged 7 a game, 6, 7 a game last year, and Ryan came off the bench and gave us sparingly minutes. And we started to mold this last June. And, this group has bought into roles and what we have to do to play every night. Unbelievable. As good as any group I've had. And it starts with these guys. Everybody knows their role and tries to play it to the best. And the one thing we've done every night is guard. And we talked before, Friday night's game 12 of 14. I think league championship's one of the toughest championships to win because it's a journey over 3 months of 14 games. And basketball becomes a grind in the middle of January and into January. Well, now you're into the special time. You're playing for a league championship. Then you go to sectional, and then hopefully you make it to district. And it's a credit to these guys and all the guys around them. Our chemistry in our locker room is unbelievable. Before the game, before practice, I go in. Like tonight, we had second practice, so we're waiting on the girls. We go in, we're laughing, we're joking, and they get along, and they know, hey, this is my job. This is my job. Not everybody is a three-point shooter. Not everybody's a post player, and they've all bought into that, and that's a credit to these guys. And it's just been a special group, and hopefully we can keep it going for a while. And, I think why we've been successful and put ourselves is we go one game at a time. We had a big win against Winford. We had to come back the next week. When we got in the gym Monday, it's time to go back to work. They don't celebrate. It's next one up. We beat Cary. We came back in the gym this week. Hey, we got to lock in on Seneca East. And the way these guys do preparation and take it so serious is unbelievable. And that's a credit to these two leaders that we have.
Trevor, you lead more by example, verbal, both?
Try to show both. I mean, obviously, leading by example is important because you don't want to have your actions showing what you do. If you're doing bad things, then obviously the team is going to see that and think that it's okay. But also if you're yelling at them for things that you shouldn't be yelling at them for, or if you're not communicating on the court, then they're going to think those things are okay too. So both, yeah.
I used to tell I had to tell one great captain that I had, Justin Little.
Great.
Galion.
He was a good player.
Yeah, and he's a really good coach now. But I had to, at one point, I had to say, you got to stop whining to them. Talk to them, yell at whatever you have to do, but stop whining. And so, same thing, Ryan. You more vocal, or say between the two of you, more vocal than Trevor is?
No, he says he talks a lot more than I do. Yeah.
So, and coming into this week, again, coming back after a great win, and Coach talking about, everyone buying into their roles and things. Do you guys have to remind them from time to time or talk to each other about it, or is it just something that comes naturally now at this point in the season for everybody that this is my role and this is how I'm going to play?
I think that's kind of, we've accepted it. I don't think we've had too many problems with people trying to do things that they aren't good at. So I think we've definitely bought into our roles and know them for sure now.
Who's the best locker room guy?
Best locker room guy? Oh, well, there's a duo, I'd say. Maybe a trio even. Payne DeGray's up there. He's
only sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Is he one that keeps them loose or?
Yeah. Then there's KB and Connor. So Caden, Bruner, and Connor. Yeah, I'd say that trio probably.
And I think that's a big part of our success, Tim. It's a special group that get along so well. And it's not about who's scoring, who's doing this. They just want to win. And I think you talk about Colonel Crawford, that carries over from football. Our guys all played football. And that's the best thing. They had success out there on the football field. And winners win, and I think it's carried over to this level. And like Ryan said, they expect to win every night when we step on the floor. And the other thing, about blinding the roles, with being the old guy there 18 years, I remember these guys in third grade coming into Little Eagles. And they've seen the groups above them buy into roles and what we've done over the years. We've played different styles depending on what our personnel is. And, they want to be the next one. We have a plaque in our locker room that says, what mark are you going to leave on this program? And that we challenge the seniors every year. This is your team, and you're the next one. And then we put their pictures up, and these guys have accepted, and, they know the most important games is Friday.
Well, I think that's, also, a tribute to yourself, tribute to them, that like last year, last year was last year, and you played certainly different than you're playing now. And for you guys to get everyone to buy in, obviously you guys got to buy in first. The seniors got to buy in first to play, saying, hey, we're not going to score 60 and 70 points a game. And, for us to win, we're going to have to win games 42 to 38, and we're going to have to win games, but like you said, I think it's just great for you guys to say, what we want to do is continue the winning tradition. And that's just a tribute to you guys as well. And yeah, because everyone will always come to me, you liked Preston, and I said, we beat Winford one year, 28-22.
I remember that.
We didn't always press and run. There were a few nights we slowed her down a little bit because that's the only way we could have some success. Hey, well, let's get to these questions. The Boomers versus the Zoomers. So the questions now are from 1994. The good news is, the bad news is the questions are from 1994. The really, really good news is I'm not your head coach because they would be from 1972. So you would have no chance and like Coach said, I'm not sure I would remember any of the answers either, so I wouldn't know if they're right or wrong. All right, number one. In 1994, Netscape launched. What's a Netscape? Any idea what Netscape
I'm going to
is?
say a search browser.
Bingo! You're all over it. Good guess? Is that sometimes?
Some type of guess.
Okay, all right.
Coach Bauer,
sounds like it.
The world was a lot better then because we didn't have cell phones back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I was teaching, everyone always will ask me, what do you mean you don't know anything? Didn't you teach computer stuff on an Apple IIe? Did you ever hear one of those? Yeah, I don't think so. That was even before Netscape. Who won the World Series? Oh, kind of a trick question. Any ideas?
They're not in the league
Trick
anymore.
question.
Kind of a trick question.
Was it
You're close, Trevor.
Did it get taken from them? Oh, it isn't in the league. They're not in the league.
You're close. They're
close.
not in the league anymore. But
They moved.
do you remember what happened, David, by any chance? Baseball went on strike. They didn't play.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Same question the girls got. And I will at least give you, I don't know if you heard their answer, but I will tell you it's less. Within 25 cents, how much was a gallon of gas in 1994?
It was $1.10.
Unbelievable. Within a penny. $1.11. That's incredible.
Hey, his dad graduated in 94. He played at Crawford, so he has a little 1994 in his blood.
Oh, there we go. All right. Did he help you with it? That's no help on that, just good guess.
Yeah, it was just a guess.
Okay, all right. There was a bookstore that launched out of a garage. Now the same store sells movies, phones, toothpaste, and billions of items.
Walmart. No, that's way
Amazon was
before.
all the way back in '94.
He's on top of it.
He's a 3.88. So, he's got the brains of
There we
all
go.
three of us
I
in
think
here.
Steve's telling me a little short. I think it might be a little higher now.
Oh, but yeah, Amazon. Gosh, you're all over it. All right, then. Well, this is kind of hard. But, there's only really 4 guesses. This TV network aired its first NFL game. So out of all the TV networks there's only really
ESPN.
4 or 5 of them. So what do you guys think?
CBS.
ABC.
Fox.
Fox.
Because Fox just kind of got started then, right? All right, let's see. Oh, we got to get this one right. For the first time ever, a pizza was purchased online from what restaurant?
Pizza Hut.
There we go. On top of it. All right, and again, thanks for the pizza, Pizza Hut. This movie taught, oh gosh. If you get this wrong, my wife will die. This movie taught us life was like a box of chocolates.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Forrest
I know,
Gump.
it's Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. This hip-hop trio coined the term mullet for their song Mullet Head.
I know that one.
I would have had no idea. Any guesses? The Beastie Boys.
I don't know.
Oh, I never realized this one. Interesting. NFL referees stopped using this to end a quarter. So when the quarter would end, they would do something to make sure everyone knew the quarter ended. But in 1994, they stopped doing it.
Blow their whistle.
Well, you're close, Trevor. Both of you should know this, though, because you're in track.
Oh, shooting a gun.
Yeah, shooting the starter pistol. So they couldn't do it anymore. So, I don't know if that will ever happen in track, but, some politically correct person will probably say, we can't do that anymore. In track meet either. I won't get fired for that, will I? Oh, just checking. It's okay. Okay, last one. Oh, you'll get this one. This boxer defended his heavyweight title in 1994 and then started selling grills in the same year.
You know
Big
this.
George Foreman.
You like the George Foreman grill? You're big on that one, Ryan?
No, not.
He's a boxer.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Not a boxer.
No?
He's an MMA fighter.
Neither.
All right. Well, good job. That was fun, I guess. God, you guys were on top of it. You might have broke a record for the right answers. Coach, going into, the game with Seneca East, not looking for any, secrets, but, obviously tempo going to play a part in it.
We got to limit our turnovers. We're going to see a 1-3-1 zone. They've played it all year. We've got to attack it inside out. And these guys, our preparation this week's been good. And then they've got 5 guys that average 8 to 12 points. So we've got to be very solid defensively one-on-one because they're so balanced. It's a team you got to guard everybody. And there's some teams where we don't have to. So, we got to come down and guard. But it starts with us not turned over. You let us set up our half-court defense, we're pretty effective. But if you turn it over, then you got live ball turnovers where you can't set your defense up. So it's a very good basketball team. They're 13-4. They've got 7-8 seniors. It's a good group, and we got one more day to prep, and then we'll go over there to Attica on Friday night.
It's them and Cary that are a game behind you?
Yes. We have 2 losses in the league, and they have 3, both of them.
Okay.
And then there's some behind.
And you're
there.
done with Cary, right?
We're done with Cary.
Okay.
We finish up with Seneca East, then we got to go to Winford, and then we have Mohawk at home. So it's like I told you before the show, I've never seen the league this balanced on the boys and the girls side. You got to bring it every night. And, the thing I talked about going into the second half, we were 2 back going into the second half of the league.
Right.
And I said, it's going to be the team that is the most consistent night in and night out. And that's what we've done, and we got 3 more to go, and we got to get ready for Friday first.
So, Trevor, what was one of your first goals beginning of the year, was to win the N10?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we won the N10 my sophomore year in basketball. We didn't win it last year, which kind of hurt. That was a big goal of ours for basketball. And then obviously we've gone back and forth for it with Cary in football and been close to it in track. So league championships are just something that we expect to win, but obviously doesn't always happen. So it's just a goal for us.
Ryan, you go into, you're one of the better defensive players. Is that something that you really just focus in on and say that's part of my role?
Yeah, that's what I do. I grab the boards and play defense. That's what I got.
So,
and that's the epitome of our team.
Exactly.
He takes that, hey, this is my job. And I've always said I love the game of basketball, football, team sports. because it's just like in the real world when these guys get out. There's a CEO, then there's people below them. You know, not everybody's the top dog. Everybody's got to buy into different roles for a company or a school district to be effective. And that's what, like he said, he takes pride in rebounding and defensively every night out.
Well, and obviously to be really good defensively like you guys are, there's got to be really great communication between while you're out there. You know, whether it's calling out screens, whether if you have to switch. Do you guys get to switch? Do you guys switch much?
Just depends on who we're playing.
Yeah, okay.
We
All
vary
right.
up
Yeah,
to
okay.
game-to-game personnel.
And, and being able to do that, but is that something you guys, I had teams that it was a constant every day yelling and screaming about communicate better, and then there were teams that communicated pretty well. How are you guys?
I mean, obviously there's going to be some flukes somewhere, but I think we're pretty good with that. We communicate pretty well. We do a lot of transition drills during practice to make sure that we can match up at a transition and just find our guys and down the court.
And Ryan, you said you're more of a leader by example, but on defense, is that something you trying to get better at, or you've gotten better at, of talking on defense?
I mean, I talk, just not so much outside of the game.
Yeah.
I'll talk
Okay.
during the
Yeah.
game. Just
Yeah,
not,
okay.
Not out.
He's a great talker. I mean,
Okay.
he is communicating, ball screen, telling, calling out plays that we know. He is unbelievable. But this is the most I've heard him talk in a 30-minute segment tonight. So this has been good for Coach Sheldon, too.
Oh, there we go. And then, I don't want to get ahead of anything, but, and obviously you guys have been on, great success in the tournament. The drawing's coming up. First of all, I guess, Coach, your thoughts on the whole seeding by whoever.
Well,
I guess
first
this
of
year
all,
it's this year it's it's max
last
prep.
year we piloted Martin's RPI.
Right.
And then, Tim, with you being, I've been on the OHSBCA executive committee, and we recommended Martin's RPI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then the OHSA said, we want to go with max your preps, and I won't talk about the reasons. And, it's a little disappointing because Martin's RPI is different than max preps.
Mm-hmm.
The reason Martin's RPI is good is like the football Harbin ratings. If I'm a D4 and we play several D2s or D3s, you're getting more points than beating a D4. And max preps doesn't give you credit, and you got the Division 1s upset right now because those ones playing all ones and tough ones, but there's ones playing 2s and 3s getting much points. So it's a little misleading, but it's all working out. Right now going in, we're the 1 seed, but that's another big reason for Friday. Centerkeese is the 2 seed right behind us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, they're in our district, so there's a lot. And then Sunday we'll go to the draw, and, we've been fortunate back-to-back district champs, and these guys know the expectations, but that's down the road.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
why these guys
Yeah,
have been
no doubt
good.
about it.
They don't worry about that. That's coach's jobs.
Sure.
Their worry is Centerkeese.
But at least, and that's at least the one thing is, one of your other goals is probably, is one of your goals then to win the district, for example. Okay. Well, like it is every year, but, it makes it certainly a lot easier to just keep winning each week,
Yep.
in each individual game and getting, this week Seneca East and then moving on from there. And the game's up there. Is it
We're at
Seneca?
Attica.
Okay.
Yes, at Attica.
Okay, and again, it's the expectations. And I don't think there's anything wrong with expectations. You guys talked about it, hit on it a little bit. I mean, you go into every sport, expecting championships, and and the other thing is that I love about and I talk about it during your football games all the time. It seems like I've become the voice of the Colonel Crawford Eagle football team. But anyways, I talk about it all the time. Just, again, the administration at your school, and the great administration getting the backings and, the fact that the coaches stay there forever. And so you have all this continuity in your programs and things. Expectations, some guys run from them. You guys obviously embrace them. Ryan, a little bit to talk on that.
It's with having expectations, it makes for. I've been having a lot of role models that I've been able to look up to because we've had so much success over the last few years. Same with basketball, football. I've had a lot of older kids before me that have been able to help me out with that stuff, and I feel like that's a really good part of our school. And having good success is the players that have been able to pave it for us.
Piggybacking on that, Trevor, many guys come back and talk to you about, things?
Yeah, we have alumni practice a couple times a year. They'll come back and they'll practice against us, and they go extremely hard. I mean, it's one of the hardest weeks of the year. I mean, we get 2 or 3 straight practices against these guys, and there's players like Mason Suter, Braxton Baker the last couple years, and then Gavin Fickner from 5 years ago. Harley Shawm has come back, I think. There's just a lot of these guys that were really good. So it's
Probably
some of Crawford's
becomes
best players. That
Probably
have come
becomes a
back.
pretty physical week of
Oh,
practice.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's definitely
because as they get older, they gotta hold and push
Jordan
and shove
Shell
more.
came. He's a little older too.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He was my ball boy. yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, and Coach, those are all things you've brought into the program. You know, I mean that.
You talk about expectations. That's what you want. And we talk about what to say across your chest and those teams before you. And, I remember Mike Krzyzewski. I read a lot of Duke's books. And,
Sure.
Over the years, teams beat us and they charge the floor, all that. And our people, it doesn't matter. We've won a buzzer beater. Our students aren't allowed on the floor. I don't want them charging. And that's our expectations. And I always heard Mike Krzyzewski say, everywhere we go on the ACC, they charge the floor. That's the greatest compliment ever because they haven't beat you much over the years.
There you go.
That's what Mike Krzyzewski would say. And we know we get everybody's best shot every night. We're going to get Seneca East's best game come Friday night. And that makes you have to rise to the occasion night in and night out throughout the whole season to continue expectations of the Colonel Crawford basketball program.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to give you guys any ideas. Yeah, one team I coached when we were winning, we were going to win the sectional. We were way ahead in the fourth quarter, and they were getting the ladder out. Bucyrus, and my captain came down and said, "Don't put the ladder away, Coach. We're not cutting the nets down."
We always do that, still, Coach.
He went and said, "Yeah, we've won this 28 years in a row.
Yeah.
So we're leaving." It's like, what? I've never won one. I want to cut it down. What the heck? But I mean, and that's what's great though. Sometimes about expectation. I mean, that guys just think this is the way it's supposed to be, and this is how it's supposed to be. Well, Coach and guys, thanks for being on tonight. Oh no, we got one more game, don't we? Let's do it. What the heck? You almost got out without this, but we'll only do like a couple of them. But it's called 10 spin. So you're going to look at that screen up there, and numbers are going to keep, and you just say stop. So Trevor, you can go first. Just say stop whenever you want, and then I got a question for you.
All right. Stop.
Oh, this is kind of just almost, there it is. The best advice or tip you've received from an alum.
Into the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Best tip. I mean, I guess it's not really a tip, but Mason Suter's work ethic. Just
There you go.
watching him in the last couple of years, I mean, he's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. So I'd say that's probably, it's not a tip, but
Right.
just following his footsteps.
Well, I guess it
trying to
says or
work hard.
advice, and
Yeah.
he didn't have to do that
He
physically
didn't really
tell
have to
you
say
what to
it,
do,
he just-
but
I saw it, and that's
that's
something
who
that
you
he
kind
told
of
me.
wanted to follow. You wanted to follow in his footsteps. That's great. All right, Ryan, you're up.
Stop.
Oh, it's an easy one.
All right, thank you.
What's your favorite song,
Favors.
or that we should check out? So, yeah. So a song you would recommend to one of us.
I don't listen to music like that.
All right, do one more. Spin him around. He's not a big music fan. I wouldn't know either.
All right, you just stop whenever you want.
All right. Yeah. Oh, this is a team you guys don't play, but you would like to play.
Like to play.
So a team, just someone, it's not on your schedule this year. That, boy, it'd be nice. I'd like to play.
I don't know why we don't play Galion. I feel like
There you go.
I don't know why we don't.
We've tried to pick them up, and they would not do it. But next year we are opening with Galion
Oh.
opening night. So
'Cause we
got-
used
they
to
got
play.
a new coach who I know pretty
Yeah.
well.
'Cause
always
we
did with
played, yeah,
Coach
we
Bauer.
played when I
It
was
was
there.
opening night, and
Yeah.
we tried to pick them up, and they wouldn't. But next year we're opening with Galion.
There we go.
Good question.
So you took care of that one. Now, if you guys can get that worked out for football too, since
Be a great gate.
Yeah.
The
Oh, gosh,
treasurer,
yeah.
the treasurer, Colonel Crawford,
There we
would
go.
love that. That'd be a good.
You would
good-
appreciate it.
You know me. I'm always thinking
Absolutely,
about my
yeah.
school district. The treasurer would like that.
absolutely. Well, let's get one for Coach. All right, Coach, get one. Yeah.
Stop.
Number 3.
Oh, this is good. What would you like to do when you get out of coaching?
Oh, I'm gonna play golf like my father. and love every bit.
So you're going to
of
go
it.
try to move in like next to him or get,
Yeah,
get
I'm gonna
some
play-
on Pinehurst?
I'm gonna play golf and enjoy retirement, but that's a long way away when
There
you're
we
only
go.
48 years old. Long way.
Yeah, well, when we had the show, the three of us were on the other night, that was the other thing is, he's inviting us all down, and it's like, what, you running low on funds or what? 'Cause the rumor has it he mostly gets you on the course and then takes all your money.
Yes, he does. He's pretty good at that, but you have fun doing it.
Absolutely, we always did. Hey, guys, again, thanks for being on, and good luck this weekend with Seneca East and with the rest of the season, and gosh, it's been a great time. And so just thanks to everybody that was on tonight, coaches and players, and and everyone else that was taking care of things tonight.
Tim,
Had a
I'd just
great
like
one.
to say this, being around 18 years here and 22 total, the other thing these athletes are, male and female, don't understand is the coverage of the OH report, WQEL, WBCO, Crawford County now give.
Oh, gosh.
Because, I got coaching buddies in Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and all you see is a score. And our
Absolutely.
kids and the media coverage they get, they don't understand because it's what they expect. And thanks to you guys for everything you guys do.
This place is great. Again, you guys again pretty lucky that you get games on the radio. There, there's guys that play all their 4 years in high school and they've never had a game on the radio, live streamed, nothing. And so, yeah, these guys do a great job. And now OH Report's doing it, and here they've always done it. But yeah, it's great that we've partnered up with them as well. So hey, we'll see you, I'm sure, soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.